DC Nation, what is up? We're back with another video. In this video, I'm be covering all the new DC comics that came out this past week, the week of January 25th. And to start out, my pick of the week is Detective Comics the 1050. This issue was actually pretty good. This is actually my favorite issue in this Shadows of the Bat crossover thus far. But it's not the main story that got this comic pick of the week for me. It's the backup stories. We have one backup story, House of Gotham, which is decent, it's good. But the backup story that got me excited, and it delivered, is the one written by Mark Waid, art by Dan Mora. It's a prelude to the upcoming World's Finest comic with Batman and Superman. We see Batman and Superman go up against Poison Ivy and Metallo. Yeah, that's an interesting pairing. Also, Robin shows up in a very different costume, but I like it. It's a mix of his OG look and his modern look, and it looks really good. Like, Dan Mora kills it. His artwork is so good, very dynamic, the colors are amazing, it pops off the page. And obviously Mark Waid, he's one of the best writers of all time at DC. He's finally back writing Batman and Superman, and he's already doing a good job. I'm excited to see him show his actual story in the upcoming World's Finest series. And finding out recently that in issue number 2, the Doom Patrol gonna show up, like Batman and Superman teaming up with the Doom Patrol, dude, count me in. That sounds super exciting. But yeah, back to the main plot, Shadows of the Bats, part 4. Yeah, this is part 4. It's taking a little while to get here. Like, it's been a very slow story, boring story so far. But this issue gets more interesting. We get some spotlight on Huntress, and she actually has good spotlight. You see how she's very similar to Batman, and I like that. We have Nightwing and Batwoman having arguments on what to do, how to deal with Huntress. But the thing that got me hyped is the end of this issue where we see Dr. Ware, one of the most crucial characters in the story. We find out that he's working with psychopirates. Psychopirates. Yeah, I was shocked by that, and it makes so much sense. Like, this whole Arkham Tower, Mr. Freeze, he's fine. Like, he's not trying to kill people, or he's not trying to be a villain. All these villains, all these insane individuals are in this tower, and they're doing fine. Why is that? It can't just be a drug. Like, okay, there is a mention of a drug in this comic called Numb. Now, you already know, that's a reference to Linkin Park's song Numb. Like, it's so obvious when one of the characters say the name of the drug. But aside from that, it can't just be drugs that are keeping all these inmates, insane individuals, at bay. It has to be something else. And it makes sense that psychopirates would be involved. And I'm really happy that Psychopirates is getting more involved in the DC Universe now, in Infinite Frontier, and now this story, because he was not handled well in Tom King's Batman. His character was kind of ruined for a little bit. He was not good in those stories, but now he's back, and I'm intrigued to see what he does as the Shadows of the Bat crossover continues. But yeah, guys, if you've been enjoying Shadows of the Bats, or if you just want a look, a prelude of Mark Waid's World's Finest comic, then I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up on our list, we got Robin, number 10, written by Joshua Williamson. And guys, this series has just been firing on all cylinders ever since issue number 1, and this issue is no different. Like, this issue is so good. I really like it because it's not a super action-packed issue. It's actually kind of like a breather. But what we see is Robin, Damian Wayne, he's shown the history of his family, the demon side. We see Mother Soul, we find out she died, and her son, Ra's al Ghul, tried to bring her back. We see the rise of Ra's al Ghul, how he became the demon's head, which I really like. That seeing the origin for Ra's al Ghul is so cool. Like, how it's laid out, how it's written, how the artwork shows it, and how he just looks very intimidating, and how he grows as a character in this issue. It's amazing. Like, the creative team really does a good job. And then we find out there's this war between Ra's al Ghul and his mother, Soul. And we see how Ra's al Ghul brings his mother back to life and hopes that she's not clinging on to this idea of how the demon, we must follow what the demon says and kill everyone in the world and just cause destruction. He was hoping his mother would be different. But Mother Soul, she ain't no different. She's still trying to follow the demon. Where Ra's al Ghul, he thinks he's better. He thinks he's the demon's head. And he's trying to find a better way. It's interesting, like Ra's al Ghul, he's done some bad stuff in the comics. But Mother Soul, she's at another level. And what happens is we see this war break out in the past, obviously. Where Ra's al Ghul, he's got the League of Shadows and the League of Assassins, where Mother Soul, she's got the League of Lazarus. And obviously Mother Soul and the League of Lazarus, they don't win at all, like they lose badly. Because, come on, Ra's al Ghul got the League of Shadows and the Assassins. Like, they are way better than some priests in the League of Lazarus. And we see this one moment where Ra's al Ghul is tempted to kill his mother, send her back to the grave once again, but he doesn't do that. He basically, like, forces Mother Soul to stay on an island, binds her to that island, she can't leave, and now she's stuck on an island with a demon. And Ra's al Ghul just forgets about her. He goes off, and the rest is history. Where, yes, Talia, he runs into the Batman, and we all know the story of Ra's al Ghul. He's an awesome character, one of the best Batman villains of all time, in my opinion. But then what we see is Mother Soul, she explains her plan of how she brought all these fighters, caused a Lazarus tournament for hundreds of years, and finally the demon's been released. But last issue we saw Damien and the rest of the fighters defeat the demon by teaming up, and Mother Soul tries to convince Damien to not accept the bat side of him, but the demon side. And Damien, he neglects. He's like, he's not going on his mother or his great-grandmother's side. He's like, I am not accepting the demon side of me. I'm different. I'm not like you. And then at the end of the issue, we see Ra's al Ghul. He arrives in the island, and he's like, nah, Mother Soul, you try to mess with my grandson now? You don't do that. I'm gonna kill you this time. Last time, I have mercy, because you're my mother, but this time, I'm here to kill you. And we did this final splash image showing that, and it's so cool, guys. Like, there's a breather type issue explaining the history of Damien's family, but by the end, the action is kicking up, and I'm excited to see everything conclude next issue, because next issue will wrap up this whole story on Lazarus Island. Then issue number 12, we'll see Damien return to Gotham. And then from there, we have the Shadow War, which I am super excited for. But yeah, guys, Robin, number 10. This is another great issue in the series. It's actually my favorites, because yeah, it's not a lot of action, but there's a lot of story and a lot of explanation, but it's done in such a good way. It's a well-written comic, and the artwork holds up as well. So yeah, guys, I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up on our list, we got Batman Catwoman Special number 1. This is a longer comic. We get like 40 pages of story involving Batman and Catwoman's relationship over the years, seeing Catwoman grow from just a young girl who's stuck in the sewers, the sewer king, to actually a burglar, a cat burglar who gets caught by Batman. They fall in love, they have a child. You just see the relationship through the years until they're very old. This is very similar to the Batman annual issue number 2 during Tom King's run, where it was basically the same thing, seeing the relationship throughout the years, but this time we just see different scenes, like different moments in their life. And I really like this. This is like the one thing Tom King does a great job on in terms of Batman. Like how he does the Batman-Catwoman relationship is really good. But my favorite thing this issue is after the story ends, we get a long tribute to John Paul Leon. Guys, he died last year. He was an artist at DC Comics. He's a great artist. He actually draws a lot of this comic. Obviously, there's some fill-in artists that come in, like Mitch Jarrett's, because Leon died, so he couldn't complete this comic. But the good thing is, the artists that do fill in, their styles are very similar to John Paul Leon. And even if some of them aren't, they try their best to be very similar, so the whole issue kinda looks like John Paul Leon drew it. And I like that, just a tribute to him in any way. Like when any artist or writer dies, I like when DC Comics pays them tributes. Especially when you get a whole special and exercise issue like this, that you get like 2 extra stories in this issue aside from the main one about Batman Catwoman. You get a Riddler story, and then one about the Question that John Paul Leon drew. And yes, there are past stories, so not new ones. They've been like Batman Black and White, or another one of DC specials. But the fact that we get tribute and some extra stories that were drawn by John Paul Leon shows that DC Comics cared about his work. And I like that. Like, just giving tribute to such a great artist is awesome. So yeah, guys, if you like the Batman and Catwoman relationship, or you really like John Paul Leon's artwork, then I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up on our list, we got DC vs. Vampires, number 4, and this issue is my favorite in the series to date. Guys, this series surprised me. I thought it would just be decent, but now it's just amazing. The writing is really good, the artwork by Otto Skimmett is really great. It's like how he draws action sequences, or maybe just small character moments. Like, what I really like in this issue is the interactions between Constantine and Zatanna. Zatanna is now a vampire, and she tries to kill Constantine, but he already knows. It's like, don't be trying to play with me. He stops her, they have a conversation, then Dr. Fate shows up, Dr. Fate kills Zatanna, like destroys her, and Constantine's like, really? That was my friend. I had it handled. And Dr. Fate's like, well, we're coming to an end of times. It's the end of the world. And Constantine replies, it always is. Like, when isn't it the end of the world? He's like, I'm used to this already. I just want to have a good conversation with my friends before she died or got destroyed, because now she's a vampire. Just this writing and the interactions between these characters and the magical side of the DC universe is awesome. Now, another good part of this issue is the fights between Green Arrow and Batman. Green Arrow, he infiltrates the Batcave. He tries to kill Batman because he thinks he's a vampire. Batman thinks the same of Green Arrow. We get a double page spread showing a really awesome fight. It's like, guys, I was hyped. When I was reading this, I was like, let's go. Like, how the panel layout was, it's a good fight. And by the end, they team up. The Justice League show up to the Batcave. You got Wonder Woman, Hal Jordan. They're both vampires for sure. And now Batman and Green Arrow, the only characters without powers, are fighting off against the Justice League, who all the members have powers. So they're severely outnumbered, but they got this. And we'll see how the fight concludes next issue. I'm really excited because that final splash image, it's drawn well, and it gets me hyped. So yeah, guys, DC vs. Vampires, number 4. If you've been enjoying the series so far, then I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up on our list, we got Task Force Z, number 4. In this issue, we see good interactions between Red Hood and Two-Face. Two-Face was revealed as Crispin last issue, this character behind the scenes so far in the series, but now he's out in the limelight. And seeing Two-Face be a little out of character, but you can see there's still some villain there. I like it, like, it's very interesting, and seeing Two-Face interact with Amanda Waller and see the tension between them is really good. Also, we got like a subplot going on with Mr. Bloom, which I like. Mr. Bloom, I've always liked his character. When I found out he was on the series, I got excited, and so far, I haven't been disappointed. Like, he has gotten some good moments, and the subplot he has in this issue gets me very intrigued. Now, at the end of the issue, we see Red Hood with his team on a mission that has not been funded, like he's not been given the go. Like, Amanda Waller is trying to shut down Task Force Z and unleash her own Suicide Squad, and at the end of the issue, we see this new Suicide Squad, or this new Task Force Z, ready to fight off against Red Hood's team. We see characters like Solomon Grundy, KG Beast. Guys, you're gonna see KG Beast go up against Red Hood next issue. I'm excited to see that. But yeah, guys, this is another solid issue in the series. Good writing by Matthew Rosenberg, amazing artwork by Eddie Barrows. But yeah, you've been enjoying the series so far. I recommend you pick this comic up. Next up on our list, we got The Flash, number 778, written by Jeremy Adams. And this is another solid issue. We actually get a lot of spotlights on Shai and Irie, the children of Wally West. They team up to try to escape the Calculator's hold. Like, basically we see Irie, she gets kidnapped, and then Shai shows up to save her. And at the end, they realize that not only are they in trouble, but their dad, Wally, is as well. Because in this issue, we see Wally, the Flash, he fights off against the Justly Dark because they're now under the control of Eclipso. We see Eclipso, he explains his plan. Like, Wally is put in a bad situation. At the end, he's about to get stabbed and killed. So the stakes are high. I'm really excited to see Eclipso unleashed next issue, and maybe get Irie and Shai involved. Like, right now, they've had subplots been really good, them fighting off against the Calculator and his goons. But when they actually get involved and we see Wally and his children going up against the Calypso, that's gonna be so dope. Like, guys, if you're a Flash fan, this is the series to be reading. Like, Jeremy Adams has been just delivering. He's been writing some awesome stories that shows Wally's character through and through. Like, it's pure Wally West. And you get to see his children in the spotlight as well. Like, what more can you ask for? So yeah, guys, you've been reading the series so far. I highly recommend you pick up The Flash, number 778. Next up on our list, we got Deathstroke Inc, number 5. And this issue, we see Deathstroke. He's back to life. Last issue ended with him being dead, but turns out he has the healing factor still, and it just takes a little while to get going. Like, he doesn't have a super fast healing factor. It's one of those, if he dies, it may take a few moments before he comes back. But he does come back, and him and Black Canary go through like this haunted house, and they get tempted. You see Black Canary run into main characters from Green Arrow's lore, like Amiko, Leon, and others. And we see Deathstroke run into Ravager, and Jericho, and Grant. Grant is the big one. Grant is dead. Deathstroke's son, and I think they're teasing that he's alive. I really think that Grant is Respawn, the new character over in the Robin series. That's my thought, but who knows? I think it's a very valid theory. But from there, Deathstroke and Black Canary, they make it through. They confront Libra, the new Libra, who is the twin sister to the original Libra. Now, she gets killed. Like, she dies in this issue. Deathstroke kills her. And then we see this whole secret society of villains, which I really like. The secret society of villains has always been associated with Deathstroke, and seeing him confront them in this issue and find out about the Legion of Doom, they created them, and then Deathstroke be like, okay, so you villains are all scared and afraid of what's gonna happen. There's some big things happening. You're gonna need heroes on your side. You're gonna need villains on your side. You're an army of supervillains and you need a leader. Well, I'll be your leader. So yeah, guys, Deathstroke comes the king of the supervillains. And I really like that. Like, it's a cool idea. And the final splash image where he sits in the throne, he has his sword ready. Black Canary's looking at him like shocked, like, what are you doing? And he's like, huh, you guys need a leader? I'll be your leader. We'll fight off against whatever's coming together, but in my way. So Deathstroke has all these supervillains under his control, you could say now. Like, it's his army, and I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. Like, next issue will be the conclusion to this first storyline, and anything can happen. Like, how this issue ends, it gets me super hyped. Joshua Williamson has been really delivering on this series. It started out a little slow, but each issue has just been getting better and better. And yeah, guys, if you've been enjoying the series and you really like Deathstroke as a character, then I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up on our list, we got Action Comics number 1039. This is the Warworld Saga Part 4. In this issue, we see Superman on Warworld. He's fighting all these gladiator matches. He's being taught how to fight like a gladiator, and it's so dope. The artwork really sells it. Just seeing Superman go all out, taking down different beasts and teaming up with the different prisoners who are with him and in these gladiator matches. It's super cool. At the end, we have a good cliffhanger where we see Apollo. He comes back to life. And Midnighter's like, oh, like, they need to team up now. We have the Authority. They're all coming together, and they need to team up to save Superman. But right now, Superman, he doesn't want to leave yet. As we saw last issue, he wants to inspire hope in all the different beasts and different species who are prisoners on Warworld. They can rise together and eventually defeat Mongol. So yeah, really good story. Philip Kane Johnson has been delivering so much in this series. He's an awesome writer for Superman, and I'm excited to see what happens next. So yeah, guys, if you've been reading Action Comics so far, I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up our list, we got Superman 78, number 6. This is the final issue in this May series. And guys, this issue almost got pick of the week. It is so good, such a good conclusion. Like, you see Superman fight off against Brainiac, the Christopher Reeve Superman, and Brainiac, he gets defeated. But how he gets defeated is so cool. There's one moment where Brainiac is like, "You're just a man." And Kal-El replies, "No, I'm Superman." And I got chills reading that. That is so good. And from there, you see Metropolis. It was in the sky last issue, but it starts falling from the sky. Superman comes underneath it, picks it up, and he's just holding it, slowly setting it down. And seeing like a couple pages of all this suspense, like, will Superman drop it? Will he be able to hold the city of Metropolis up? And he ends up saving everyone. And he reunites with Lois Lane. You see Lex too, he's involved. And just how this issue progresses, it's well paced. The artwork is amazing. It fits the tone of the Richard Donner era. And by the end of the issue, you see Superman show up to the Fortress of Solitude. He talks to his parents who are in the bald city of Condor. And he tells them, "I'll find a way to get you free. I just need to keep searching. We'll search together. We'll discover things together." And the issue ends with Superman flying out into space. And you get this amazing image of him just smiling. He's out in space. He's ready to discover more things. And nothing can stop him. And yeah, a really awesome issue, guys. If you just really like the Richard Donner era, Christopher Reeve Superman, you like the rivalry between Superman and Brainiac, if you like the bald city of Condor, if you like certain moments where Superman is just holding up a city, it's all up to him. He has to persevere, make it through, save everyone, and he pulls through. Like, just those moments are so epic. And it's awesome. So yeah, guys, if you've read up to this point, I highly recommend you finish off the series with this issue. Next up on our list, we got Superman and Robin, special number 1. Written by Peter J. Tomasi, art by Victor Bogdanovich, and this is basically the finale to the Super Sons. And this issue is called The Magical Cube. You see Damian Wayne, he shows up to Jonathan Kent's house. They reunite. You see Superman, he's all Superboy, he's all grown up, he's aged. And you have a little commentary on that, which I thought was interesting. And you just see the Super Sons team up for one last time before they get older. Like Jonathan Kent, he's older, but Damian Wayne, he's not entirely older yet, but he's getting there. With his own series right now, he's getting older. They're no longer going to just be 10-year-olds. They're very young. They're no longer just super sons. They're about to be Batman and Superman, world's finest. And seeing that development is really cool. And seeing the splash image of Jonathan Kent Superman flying off and Damian Wayne the Hellbat suit behind him flying too. Like, just the addition of the Hellbat suit in this issue is awesome. And then we get like a throwback. We find out about this magical cube, which is connected to Dinosaur Island. Like, guys, I remember that mini storyline in Pierre J. Tomasi Superman Run, where Superman and his son went to Dinosaur Island. They met up with this one captain of this team of losers. That's what they're called. They fought off against dinosaurs, and this island basically prevented aging, and you just see the idea explored more in this issue. You get a lot of action, and you see two characters, the Super Sons in these mech suits, fighting off against dinosaurs, Beast in the Fortress of Solitude, and a bunch of cool double page spreads. And yeah, it's a very well-paced issue, a lot of action, good interactions between the Super Sons, and by the end of the issue, everything comes together. It really feels like a finale to the idea of the Super Sons. One of the best ideas at DC in so many years, and it's kind of sad seeing it go, but I'm excited to see this new world's finest team. Like, just seeing Jonathan Kent now as Superman, that's cool, but to eventually see Damian Wayne maybe become Batman, or maybe take up a new role. Like, he's really developing as a character. Both of them are. And just a fan of that idea, I love it. Like, this issue is such a good issue. It's oversized, but it's paced well. So yeah, guys, if you're a fan of the Super Sons, Jonathan Kent, and Damian Wayne, then I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up on our list, we got Aquaman, Green Arrow, Deep Target, number 4. And this issue, we see Oliver Queen and Arthur Curry escape the moon. We even have like a splash image of them on a rocket just shooting off into space. It is so dope. And you see the organization of Scorpio going after them. And just the interactions between Green Arrow and Aquaman in this issue is so well done. Like, the writer really knows these characters through and through. And by the end of the issue, they make it back to Earth. Or is it? It's a very different kind of Earth, a very different kind of planet that's a little Jurassic. You see a different, like, dinosaur-type civilians. At the end of the issue, Green Arrow and Aquaman are in a bad spot, but then they are saved by who I thought was the villain of the series, Scorpio. This one guy who kidnapped Green Arrow and Aquaman a couple issues ago. He had them in containment the last issue, but now he's trying to save them? Like, what's going on? The ending, like the cliffhanger, gets me super hyped. I'm very intrigued to see where this story goes. So yeah, guys, you've been reading this series. If you like Green Arrow and Aquaman, then I highly recommend you pick up this issue. Next up on our list, we got Teen Titans Academy, number 11. And this issue, we don't find out who Red X is. The literal cover says Red X revealed, but we don't actually find out who he is. I'm really thinking that next issue will show us how the issue ends, everything's wrapped up, like the whole story is basically done, and the only thing left is to find out who Red X is. But to hype it up, like, they are really dragging this out. Like, Tim Sheridan, I like his writing at times. I was getting hyped, like, this series was getting better in the past few issues, but this issue kind of disappointed me. Like, it started out good. Hoffa Sandoval's artwork is amazing, it looks really good. Just seeing the Teen Titans in action, Roy Harper back, Wally West and the West family, the Flash family involved. It's cool, but as the issue went on, the artwork switched. Like, we had Shine switched, no more Hoffa Sandoval, and the artwork looked very rushed and not good, and the writing felt rushed as well. Like, the issue started out so good, it got worse and worse as the issue went on. Like, I do like the idea of Shazam and Black Adam guarding the Rock of Eternity and protecting or trying to keep in the unkindness and the four riders of Apocalypse. That's a cool idea. Like, they get a good role in this issue. But how the four riders of Apocalypse get defeated, how Nevermore, he's subdued, like, it's very rushed. Like, I like the one moment where Teen Titans Tower is shocked by lightning with Shazam. Like, seeing the Shazam family just shout Shazam, and it shocks the tower. Super dope, and the splash image is really cool. But from there, everything wraps up so quickly. At the end of the issue, I'm like, okay, so everything wrapped up. Cool. I wish it was done a little better, but we still know Red X is. And I really think it's Brick Pederoso. Like, all the clues are here. Like, there's more clues to who Red X is in this issue. It's kind of like they're flat out saying it's Brick at this point, but we still haven't gotten the reveal. I really wished they put a different cover for this issue, because to put a cool cover for this issue that says Red X revealed, it got me hyped. And I've been hyping you guys up for the past few months saying, oh, Red X is gonna get revealed in this issue, and it didn't. So I was very disappointed. I hope he gets revealed next issue. He better, because if he doesn't next issue, we then have a whole nother crossover with the Suicide Squad, so that means we're gonna have to wait even longer. And at this point, I don't even care anymore. Like, Red X's identity has been dragged out so much, and if it does end up being Brick, makes sense, but it's not worth all this wait. So yeah, guys, this issue of Teen Titans Academy, I'm very mixed on. It's the weakest issue in a while. Like, there's some good moments, obviously, but a lot of it, there's too many cons. Like, there's way more cons than pros. So yeah, Teen Titans Academy number 11, I don't recommend it. Wait till next issue, see if we actually get the reveal of who Red X is. If we don't, then don't even care about the storyline. Like, don't at all. But if we do, then check out this issue. But yeah, guys, that's Teen Titans Academy number 11. Next up our list, we got Justice League number 71. And guys, Bendis' run is almost over, thank God. Like, his run has not been good. And I try not to be negative about comic writers and stuff like that. I give them a chance. I give Bendis multiple chances. His Superman run, his Justice League run, and every time he just disappoints me. And at this point, it just feels like he's phoning it in. Like, the whole main story in this issue just feels filler, not that good. Like, there's one good interaction between Green Arrow and Black Adam, but that's about it. And the artwork by Phil Hester, he's a good artist, but here it looks super rushed. Like, he was told a day before, hey, just draw the best you can. We just gotta make this issue. We gotta make the due dates for this comic. And I don't like that. So yeah, the main story by Bendis, not good at all. And I'm excited to see him leave after issue number 74. And I'm really hyped to see Joshua Williamson jump on and see what happens with the whole Death of the Justice League storyline. But yeah, aside from the main story, we got a masterpiece backup story by Ram V about the Justice League Dark. Now, this is basically the conclusion to Ram V's whole run on this team. We see Khalid, Dr. Fates, trying to predict what's going to happen in the future, and he tells all the Justice League Dark members what to expect, because this is just the beginning. Things are going to happen in Merlin. Events are going to happen more often. Merlin is playing something that Justice League Dark need to be ready. Now, that's cool. Like, the story's really good, and how Khalid is written is awesome. I'm happy he's in the spotlight, but what I like the most is the artwork. The artwork is amazing. Like, we get a bunch of, you could call them splash images of characters like Jason Blood and Etrigan, Constantine Swamp Thing, Elnara Rashtu, this new character that joined in this run, that I love her character now. She is so interesting, and now that she's going on a search that may last her eternity, like, I hope her character returns, and she better be written by Ram V when she returns. Like, he writes her character so well, and yeah, characters like Ragman, Bobo, Detective Chimp, Zatanna, and others, they all get spotlight in this issue, and yeah, I just really like this. This is one of the best runs on the Justice League Dark in a while. Like, Ram V did his thing. Ram V did his thing. He delivered an awesome story, and I'm excited to see what he does next as a writer. So yeah, Justice League number 71. Don't worry about the main story, but pick it up. Actually, don't even pick it up. I don't recommend it. Wait for the trade on the Justice League Dark story. Pick up that so you get the whole story without any, cuts, not even involving the main story. It's just a continuous story, an awesome Justice League Dark story written by Ram V. Next up on our list, we got one-shots written by Garth Ennis called Peacemaker, Disturbing the Peace. Obviously, DC thought, oh, the Peacemaker show is going on right now. Maybe we should promote his character in the comics a little more with the one-shots. But if you're coming from that TV show and expecting the same character in this comic, no. This is a very different kind of Peacemaker, a much darker version. This entire issue is so dark. Right out the bat, just learning about Peacemaker's whole family died when he was 8, and how he came home from school and saw his parents dead. They committed suicide and killed their children, killed Peacemaker's siblings, killed Chris Smith's siblings. It's so dark. Reading this, it really killed my mood. I'll say that. If you're having a good day and you read this comic, it's gonna kill your mood, and you're just gonna be like, man, this is so depressing. This is so sad. Seeing Peacemaker's story, how many people die in his life, and how, I like the idea of how he doesn't care who dies as long as there's peace. There's one part in the story where he runs into these two thieves or just criminals who are messed up, and he sees that they're really messed up, they shouldn't be living, so he snitches them out to the cops. And at one moment, the guy who took him in, it's a guy and girl who took him in, I don't remember their names, they're very forgettable, but the girl, she dies in a car crash, and the guy, he's about to make it out, he just needs Chris Smith to open the door for him. He's like, hey boy, open the door, please. And Chris is just like, nah, you're dying, this will be your peace. And it's so messed up, and seeing this guy die in the fire, be burned alive, and Chris, as a little child, a 10-year-old at this point, just watching, I'm doing what's right. It's so messed up. Now, what I also like is seeing him in the military. You see Chris's development throughout the years in the military, how he gets more trained with artillery, and how his point of view on peace develops more. It's a very interesting take on Peacemaker. It's a dark take. It really feels like Punisher style of Peacemaker. And guys, it's not like he's out of character here. It's not like Garth Ennis jumped on and changed his character. No, Peacemaker has been like this before. It's just the TV show shows him in different lights. James Gunn kind of changed his character, which I'm fine with. I really like the Peacemaker TV show. It's amazing. But I also like this version of the character as well. Yes, it's super dark, but it's also very interesting. And by the end of the issue, how this one-shot concludes, throughout the issue, Peacemaker is talking to this one woman who is trying to find out about Peacemaker. She's read his file, and they're at a gravesite, and Peacemaker at the end points at all these graves of all these people who have died when he was around, and he's like, look, it's very peaceful. And it's so messed up. I'm like, man, this is a dark Peacemaker. So yeah, guys, if you like Peacemaker as a character, the comic version, not the TV show version, then I recommend you pick up this one-shot. Moving on to the last new DC comic that came out this past week, is gonna be Human Target number 4. Written by Tom King, art by Greg Smallwood. Guys, Greg Smallwood's artwork is amazing. His images just look so slick. He's one of the best artists, and just see him on this title is awesome. And Tom King, his writing is really good as well. He's actually the best Tom King. He's very good at just writing characters, interactions, and doing a slow story. Now, put him on Batman? No. But have him on Human Target? Yeah, I like it. And what I really like about this issue is Blue Beetle's involvement. He has an awesome parts in the issue. Seeing him fly out in the bug. We get this one splash image where Blue Beetle, Christopher Chance, and Ice are in the bug. They fly out of this building. You see the clouds. And it's just such a cool image. how Greg Smallwood draws it, it pops off the page. Like, the colors are really good. And yeah, aside from Blue Beetle's involvement, which is really good, we see this relationship between Christopher Chance, the main character, and Ice. They go from just working together to having a somewhat romantic relationship to being really connected. At the end, where Christopher Chance walks in the hotel room and sees Ice, like, ready to go. Like, she's ready to bang. They're about to bang. Yeah, they're about to go for it. Like, she's been ready the entire issue. And just seeing them be together. Like, it's a slow progression, but I like how Tom King does it. It's a well-paced issue. So yeah, guys, if you've been enjoying Human Target so far, then I highly recommend you pick up this issue. And yeah, guys, that's all the new DC Comics that came out this past week, the week of January 25th. A lot of new comics, like 15. I discovered 15. This is probably the longest new comic book roundup video yet. Like, it's gonna be a really long video, a lot of editing, but I'm doing it for you guys. But we're not closing out the video yet, so that's all the new comics. But now, it's time for a back haul pull. And what I got for you guys this week is Spawn Batman. And the creative team we got in this is Frank Miller and Todd McFarlane. Now, this is the Spawn Batman team-up one-shot that is good. There's another one called Batman Spawn that's horrible. But this one I recommend. It's really cool. I've always been a big fan of Spawn. He's an awesome character. And what's going on with the Spawn comics right now? King Spawn. It's super awesome. But yeah, I've always liked Spawn. The animated series is really cool. The movie, cheesy, but I still liked it. But yeah, this book, just seeing Spawn and Batman teaming up, like fighting at first, but then teaming up together. The splash images, the art is really good. The writing is so Frank Miller. Like, just think of how Frank Miller writes. It's the same here, really good. And yeah, it's a short story, very short one-shot, like not super long, but it's very well paced. Good story. If you're a fan of Spawn and Batman, you'll really like this. Like, Spawn and Batman are two of my favorites comic book characters of all time. Batman is my favorites, and Spawn, he's up there. Like, Hellboy and Spawn are like right behind. Like, I really like Hellboy and Spawn. They're my favorites comic book characters outside the big two, DC and Marvel. So yeah, guys, that's the back haul pull for this week. Tell me your thoughts on Spawn, Batman down below. What do you think about Spawn as a character? Would you guys want me to do a video just dedicated to him? I know he's not DC, but come on, it's Spawn. Like, I'd be so down to do a video about him. Like, that'd be so dope. Just like a history video, talking about stories, certain storylines. Like, I have Spawn comics in the back, like behind this green screen, that I really want to talk about. So, tell me down below, guys. But yeah, guys, if you like the video, give a big thumbs up. You should make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my next DC Comics video. And yeah, tell me your thoughts on all the new DC Comics down below. Also, tell me your thoughts on Spawn, Batman. And that'll wrap up the video. Thanks for watching, and peace out.